Hi.
Hi.
And I'm Ron Schira, and I am with Rochelle Marcus Dinkin. And Rochelle is an artist, and we are at the Highwire Gallery in Philadelphia for her show of paintings. Now, you also have her son's paintings here, which we will be talking about and showing. Your son's name is?
Joshua Gabriel.
Joshua Gabriel. And we'll be discussing his work, which is on the other side of this wall, which is one is in back of us, as a matter of fact. But anyway, hi, and how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Give us a little bit of information about what you do as an artist, what your artwork is about.
Okay. Well, it's about a lot of things, but it's about, I think one of the central focuses is about the heroine.
The heroine.
The heroine is the central focus of the narrative, usually.
The female hero.
Yes, yes. And usually, it's in different contexts of the different stages and emotional states of life and the different, male-female relationships in relationship to the family, in relationship to the world. It's a commentary on the female heroine in the universal states.
In the universal states, so you have somewhat of a mythical sort of relationship to it.
Well, yes, I think
there's a lot of symbolism.
Yes, I think it takes in a lot of historical and cross-cultural, and it's a stew of different things that have arrived in my mind over the years, and I play with them, and put the different contexts and different analyzations of commenting on them.
Like a rite of passage in a way.
I don't know if a rite of passage, but it's almost commentaries on these different places and stages and states of thinking and being.
Okay. And you have about how many works in this show?
I think there's eight.
8 pieces.
Yeah.
And they're pretty sizable. We'll take a walk around and look at them. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You live in Philadelphia.
I live in Philadelphia, yeah.
Did you go to school here? Or?
I went to the Pennsylvania, I originally went to Tyler. And,
good school.
Yeah, but I really didn't like it.
Oh.
So then I went to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, which I did like at that time. It was a very nice school. In fact, my son, I had when I was in my 3rd year, and I brought him with me to the studio there. So, he was, while I was painting, he was there in my senior year in my studio, so it's kind of interesting. And, so I've always, each artist has, different struggles, and, it's always, I think, a struggle with artists to have the time or the money or the, to continue their work, and, so I've, been in that struggle for decades as far as, I have a family, and, I also worked in psychiatry as an art therapist for many years.
Oh, okay. Is that your day job, kind of?
Well, I did. Yes, that was my day job, as well as raising a family, and then, of course, my work. So those were, the sort of 3 areas that I devoted my time and energy to.
Have you found it easy to make a living as an artist in this area, or is it? Is it a struggle like most artists?
It's a struggle. I've made money over the years, but I think my stuff is very idiosyncratic, and I think it has, certain the business of art is a whole other, you could do a whole documentary on the business of art. That's a whole other.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I do like to get impressions from artists that do practice art as a profession. To get their ideas on it too. I
think art, why you start out in art and the business of art are 2 separate things.
Yes.
They're 2 separate things, and I think it's yes, I've had success as far as money at times, but never that I would totally could live from.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. I've
It's
had
feast-
recognition at times.
feast
You
and
know what I mean?
famine, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that, it's, a continual struggle.
Okay. And you do have a website too, so if people
Yeah.
wanted to take a look at your work outside of what we have here in the gallery, they can address the website?
Yeah, I will be having a new website, but right now I have grimsistersart.com.
grimsistersart.com. Okay,
Yeah, it's-
I'll put a little tag on the bottom of the screen here. for
Yeah,
that.
GRIMM, Grim Sisters, SISTERS, .com.
.com.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And when you update that, you'll let me know, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
will.
All right. So let's take a look around at the first part.
Okay,
And we'll go through each one of the paintings that you have in the show, and you can talk at length about them, whatever you want to say.
okay,
All righty.
all right.
Okay. Now what's the title of this one?
This one's called Dessert.
Dessert.
Dessert. So, again, we're starting with a commentary. This was from a series that I've done over the years, the theme being male and female. And there's always, well, this is not that ambiguous. I mean, it has sharp teeth in a phallic male, figure, the fish, and she's dessert. So, so that's,
Oh yeah, this is a very attractive painting.
Thank
Or what is this? Is this oil acrylic?
this is oil on linen,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And, I'm very much into the paint quality, the microcosm of design and color, and, each part is designed in a way that it's, the total is unified.
More than a sum of its parts. Let's back up a little so we can catch the
Okay.
whole picture. So. That's pretty sizable. That's pretty sizable work, really.
Yeah, that's a large.
So how long do you normally work on a painting
Well,
like this?
painting, an oil painting could take months. And I've had even larger work than this, but something like this can take months.
Okay, so this is about the
male
sexual-
female,
the
yeah,
male
that's-
female and sexual appetite.
And of course, it's just one,
Yeah.
it's one aspect.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, this couldn't define the whole relationship to me. This is,
no.
a commentary of just part of everything. So I feel it's like a lifetime conversation. And I come back to certain themes,
Well, it is one of those themes that continues to plague our society is, this sort of battle between the sexes.
Yeah, so there's different dynamics going on, and there's different psychological dynamics, and there's always the aesthetics, and then the psychological level. So it's existing on different.
And that would fit in with your psychological training as well, your training in psychology.
Yeah, because I think my
Very
paintings
much.
are very psychological, but also I'm very invested in the beauty of the paint.
The beauty of the paint.
Yeah.
It is, it's really quite nice. I mean, really the way you organize this and the way you work with the symbolism here. Now, this one is called Farewell.
Yes. Yeah.
This is also an oil.
Yes.
I'm going to back up and get this whole thing in before we go into any details. Okay. Wow. So talk about this one a little bit.
Well, this I think is from a series that was I call it the Family Reunion series. The original, my original family, which was myself, my mother, and my grandmother. So it's the three women, and there's a lot of different paintings over the years that dealt with that topic. My original family, and again, I have very different views and different contexts, but you can see the two in the corner, they're waving goodbye, as the heroine in this takes off and she has wings. She's she's a wing figure and she's leaving, but she's looking, I love the look on her face. She has that's one of my favorite faces. She's very, very patient, very kind, and she's, you know, she's leaving.
She's determined.
Yeah, she's determined.
I like the halo effect, you know, across her. Has sort of an iconic.
Yes, definitely an iconic feel to it. And, you know, like I said, I think a lot of my work is meant to be, in my thinking, Rorschach. Because I can have my story, but again, I think on the universal level, I need it to exist so other people can read into their stories or how they would interpret it. You know, it is, you know, the whole idea of the narrative and a story is, you know, you can put your own thinking into it. And I want people to play with the different symbols and see how they interpret.
Yeah, I like this this genital, you know, portrait here.
Yes, yeah.
Is that the male part of this?
Well, I think so, but it's funny. I remember years ago, my grandmother said to me, "Why do you have to have that face there?" Which is kind of funny, you know.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, but you know, that was her comment. Why is that face there? But.
Yeah. Oh, we have we have the police on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so,
okay.
like I said, you know, there are things that reoccur, you know, and that are, you know, that are easy to interpret, and then there are things that are more ambiguous to interpret.
Like the peacocks on the bottom.
Well, yeah, there's, you know, always,
Pheasants,
you know, the context of, you know, where she is, and she's running uphill, you know, she's that vertical slash.
Yes. Yeah. So there's almost sort of a reference to climbing a hill and.
Yeah, she's going uphill. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Every time I see one of those, I think of the legend of Sisyphus.
Yeah. So I guess there's certain things that are in our unconscious that, you know, obviously that we would, you know, relate to in, you know, directions and, you know, gestures and things that would resound in each person's mind when they look at, you know, various things.
Okay. Now this is a smaller piece. And,
yeah, mixed media.
So what is this, like collage and gouache?
No, it's not. It's all hand done. I mean, it's not. It's all hand.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
And it's one paper, and it's a mixture of pencil, gouache, ink, and sometimes pastels. And, you know, you get a different effect than oil and linen. And, you know, the topic is stuck.
Stuck, that's the title of the piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that seems, and being that there's your Valentine hearts around the side of it, little sunshine, it seems like it's like you're stuck between one world and another.
Well, you know, again, there's my interpretation and other. The hearts have little prickles in them, so you can interpret that however you want. It's not so much. It's not so sweet. They have little stickers in them. And if you notice, there's a heart with a knife in it. You know, and this is almost like a little puppet figure on her, and there's fire behind her. So I think, you know, the title "Stuck," and they're in this sort of house formation, and there's a little observer group up top. You know. And I sometimes have used that. They're like little chorus that pops up in my work a lot. And you know, they're the observers, the commentators on life.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it where I don't have a reflection on it.
Yeah.
But it's
hard with the glass.
It's hard with the glass. But yeah, so you see the different faces have their own barbs on them as well too.
Some of them, yeah.
Like this one up here.
Yeah.
And upside down. So there's a lot of there's a lot of psychological referentiality to it, but you don't want to like spill the beans and tell everybody.
Well, I think everything's psychological. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the way I think. Everything's psychological, and you know, you have these little points. It's sort of an aggressive thing. It's, you know.
So it's in and out. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I also am very, involved in the mediums and playing with the detail, with the mixes of the different the mixes.
That you can see your involvement with the work. It's like it's like some people just like to get it over with, get the message out, get it done. But you really relish in the minutia of the work.
Well, I think of it, I don't know if it's more obsessional or minutia, but I think of it as, making the whole, the parts making up the whole.
Parts making up the whole again, yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so tell me about this one.
Well, I was starting to say that a lot of my work is stream of consciousness. So I start in a place and then it develops. I don't have always a plan. Most of the time I don't have a plan. I just almost begin like once upon a time. I start with a character and then it proceeds. Like here I started with this particular character, a very sad character in the egg. And she is all the figures around her are the sort of the comforters. And then
these are all women.
I think they are.
I think you'd leave it open to suggestion.
Yeah. And again, we have different symbols: the eggs, the birds, flight, roads. So, here we have eggs again. So, these are all symbolic of, birth or
passage,
renewal.
Yes.
Renewal, things like that. And so I'm playing with these topics, and again, playing with the material. Always playing with the material, and trying to the textures, the color, the design. I mean, that to me is just as interesting as the psychological. So they sort of develop together in a very, I hope, fluid way.
Well, it looks like you're having a lot of fun with it.
Well, it's a process, and sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's problematic. But I think it's part of the art process that
Oh yeah, you're solving problems as you go.
Yeah, you're solving problems, and you're presenting problems to yourself, and you are playing too. That's a big part of play.
And you want to make it playful for the viewer as well.
Yeah, so like I said, there's different levels that are going. The psychological, the aesthetic, and there's different things to look at, think about. There's a world. There's a definite world.
There is. Let's move to the next one.
Okay.
So now this one here is a little more, not quite as intricate, but it has a different.
It's a little more monochromatic.
Yeah.
And
Has a
it's called Nightmare.
nightmare.
And well, obviously she's a figure running, and she's being chased, and she's carrying a little mask head, and she's running, and she's running into something that has a.
Looks like fire.
Yeah, or barbed. It's barbed and it's spiked. So again, it creates a psychological tension of the whole, composition.
Boy, I love this surface texture that you have in her hair.
Yeah.
And that is that a phallus?
I didn't think of that, but you can. That wasn't my thinking at the time, but
Well, these characters, oh my goodness, they are frightening. Well, if I was being chased by them, I'd be running too.
Yeah. It's all about flight and about, I guess, fear.
Fear. Yeah,
Fear.
that was exactly what was going through my head.
The fear.
Fear.
Yeah. So that's, again, an aspect. It's not, I've done things that are very fanciful. I've done things that are very, I don't know if I'd say cheerful. I don't know if we go that, but maybe,
Well, there's a certain there is happiness in these works, but
Yes.
there's also conflict and
yeah, I think I said it's there's a lot of different things going on, and you could have fear, you could have renewal, you could have joy, you could have conflict. So all the themes that are in life, are played out in my work, I think.
Just Shakespearean in a way, yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's,
yeah.
one way you can look at it. I mean, or you can almost look at it, I sometimes look at it as Talmudic, because,
Okay.
because, just as the Talmud was about commenting on laws and passages, and I think as a female artist, I'm making my comments through my work about life and passage and, emotions and that was a male tradition, and this is my response as a
And
female.
this is your response as a female.
Yeah.
Which I have been becoming more and more interested in, because I just think that I have never seen as many women artists as I have lately.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, I mean, it used to be
Or maybe people are noticing them more, because I think there's been a lot of women artists.
There's always been a lot of women artists, but yeah.
maybe yeah. But I think you're the sum total of your experience, and I think, woman artist is, it's not, well, you come from a different, in my thinking, sensibility and, experience. So I think that's in there.
Well, and there's a totally different natural viewpoint as well too. I mean, simply because of the structural differences between men and women.
Well, I guess you could debate that.
that could be debated.
Yeah.
Well, that is another aspect of it, I think, that should be debated. But it's
what's masculine work, feminine work? It's very interesting, because I've had people, sometimes think that some of the big, more powerful work was done by males, because I guess that was their association. But that's not, that's their.
See, well, they have a paradigmatic view of what they think males and females should be making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I started doing really large canvases, I never thought of it in that way.
Yeah.
I just thought of it as a world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're not here to make categories.
Yeah.
Now, we have, 3 more here?
Yeah.
Let's check these out. Okay. Now, this is an oil on linen.
Yeah, this is Big Mama and the Boys.
Wow. That's a beauty.
Thank you.
Boy, I love your color work. I mean, it's really, all of these, it almost has like what would you say, an Indian flair to it?
Well, it's interesting that you notice that, because it's, everything that I enjoy finds its way into my work. And I don't know if I would say Indian, but I would say a lot of times I love Persian work.
Persian, yeah.
Yeah, and the stories and all the color and the design and the attention to detail. And sometimes I also love the fact that a lot of that artwork has the duality of superficially being beautiful. And then sometimes there was a lot of conflictual, crazy things going on. Like, they could have a battle scene and it could look aesthetically beautiful, then there could be people's heads flying off. So I like the idea that, at one level you have this beauty, and at another level there's all this different, you have to really look and see what is. And but I see this as a much more whimsical piece, because, she has that sort of patient, forbearing look, and, the males are, one's sort of sitting on her lap, crying and complaining.
Wah, wah, yeah.
A little kvetching.
Kvetching, yeah.
A little kvetching. And, one she has under her arm, she's sort of giving him the, stop it thing.
Yeah, behave yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the princes with the crowns. So, it's, I wouldn't say it's my total worldview, but it's one view.
It's one view.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think one thing ever expresses all your view of everything. It's just a partial of how you are playing with it at that time.
We have 2 more pieces here.
Okay.
And let's see, we have, this one here is called saved. Now this looks like is this a work on paper?
This is a mixed media work on paper with the, you know, the mediums that I mentioned before. And I perceive this again as, I worked a lot with movement, how they're coming from all different directions, and I'm playing with the boundaries of things, because sort of one thing falls into another, and there is direction and there is boundaries, but also one thing flows into another, and you know, all different angles are you know, played with. Now there is this one figure here. She's holding this particular figure from this. So I think she's, you know, that's, you know, saved. She's trying to push it back.
No, she's trying to save
Save it.
him from this
Yeah.
ragged tooth critter down there.
Yeah, yeah. So again, a stream of consciousness kind of thinking that probably began here, and then playing with it and seeing where it goes, and almost like you would, you know, in a dream. But of course, I'm more conscious than in a dream.
So, do you ever work from sketches, or is this just a spontaneous? You just go to the work and
Not
just do it?
really. I don't usually work from sketches. Sometimes I'll have a very like directional things on a piece of paper, like you know, a figure like an X and a circle, but I don't really do sketches too much. You know, very minimal, and it's more a concept, maybe, and then. You know, I might have a concept, like in the couples thing, I would have more of the male-female thing, and the farewell, it's more of a concept. But in some of these things, I let it go where it leads me, starting from a central, you know, character.
Okay. Now, this is the last piece in the show, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, and this one is called
Rescue.
Rescue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
yeah, we started with her, the central narrative in this particular piece, and it almost is like a concentric, well, like a circle. Things emanate out from her, you know, and she's, you know, she's flying, you know, in a flying position, sort of battling, but sort of she has that triumphant look.
so they're breaking through.
Yeah. And there's the forces, a lot of forces around her, you know, the people, the animals, you know.
There's a lot of energy in this one.
Yeah, a lot of energy, you know,
I really like this section down here, how you've incorporated these flying eyeballs and the impressions of fire and plant and.
Well, again, it's microcosms making up a macrocosm, and, you know, all this, you know, each small part is designed, and, you know, and the colors and the direction and all this is made to, you know, give the power of the psychological, to make it powerful psychologically.
So you can read a lot into this as, you know, as time goes on and you look at it each day, you'll see a lot, you'll see something different each time you look at it.
Well, sometimes, like I said, I'm not thinking about that when I'm working. And again, it's more an unconscious thing. And sometimes it's almost, I'm looking back at things and say, oh, that's what you meant. You know, and let's start, you know, like as I said, sometimes I start out with something that interests me, like an expression of face or direction. And then, you know, I guess whatever is going on in my life or mind, you know, comes out. And, you know, and see there's this little face in the background that's in the shadows, and, you know, sort of a reoccurring, it's blue and little pointed ears, and so.
That's very subdued in there.
Yeah.
It's almost like a shadow part.
Yeah. And the little figure face peeking in from the corner, you know, things coming from different directions, and it seems like they're almost like, you know, it's a lot of chaos in here.
Chaos.
Yeah. yeah. So there's some things that are very still in my work and very sedentary, and then there's other things that are, I think in the, later years, there's a lot of things that are have more movement and more, I don't know, chaos or turmoil, but,
Yeah, yeah.
it depends on when you're looking or what's going on, So, but again, the psychological is, I guess the expressive part, and the paint or the medium that I'm using is always the part that I'm playing with as material, and as, adding strength or, portraying what I'm trying to do psychologically.
Well, very interesting. Is there anything that you would like to say before we close up here, or?
Well, in terms of what?
Well, in terms of your work, is there something that we missed, something that you would have liked to have said?
Well, I think I explained myself pretty well. It's been a sort of lifelong quest to answer certain drives, on the level of the psychological, which I've said 100 times.
That's okay.
It's about sort of trying to figure out things or express things. And again, the material is fun and is, beauty and, part of the whole mix of the levels that I work in. So, a lot of people, whether you can call some of these people secular Madonnas or, mythical things or, fairy tales, you could, have different kinds of, allusions to them or, it's a play, it's my world. I guess that's what I would have to say. I've created a universe. And I think a lot of artists do create, obviously, their own universe.
Oh, yeah.
And their own questions and their own answers.
We all live within our own minds.
So this is an expression of my particular life and universe and world. And of course, again, if it was just my thinking, I think that would be kind of boring. I hope it relates to the universal and people look at it and think and enjoy and laugh or,
We'll get some.
Are provoked.
Yeah.
Are provoked.
Yeah. Or enticed.
Yeah.
Maybe that,
because again, back to the Rorschach,
Yeah.
I want them to put their thinking in, and see what happens, when they look. I have my view and I want them to have their view.
Very good, very good. Now we just have, just to say something about the exhibit itself, this is at Highwire Gallery.
Yes.
And it's going to be up for how long?
Till the 22nd.
Till the 22nd?
Yeah.
And this is the last exhibit for Highwire Gallery?
Yes, it's very sad. Yes,
Yeah.
we've been, I think the history has been about 25 years, and so we're having economic problems here. A lot of,
Yeah, the story.
landlords are moving in the neighborhood and, pricing out a lot of galleries. So.
Yeah, it's an ongoing problem with a lot of galleries here and elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, Rochelle, thank you so
Thank you.
very much. This has been a pleasure going through your exhibit and talking about each one of your works.
Good.
I wish you a lot of luck.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.